In the rugged highlands of northern Ethiopia, a new nightmare is unfolding. Just 4 years after one of Africa's deadliest wars ended, Human Rights Watch has dropped a bombshell. Regional authorities in Tigray are accused of abducting civilians, including children as young as 15, and forcing them into military service. Mothers hiding their sons in fields, young men dragged from gold mines and homes. A climate of fear descending on a region still scarred by mass grave and shattered lives. Is this the prelude to renewed civil war in Ethiopia? Or worse, a spark that drags Eritrea into open conflict and sets the entire Horn of Africa ablaze? Tonight, we investigate the evidence, connect the dots across Sudan, Somalia, and the Red Sea, and ask the question the international community seems desperate to ignore. Are we watching the Horn of Africa slide back into hell? Stay with me, this story is developing fast. Welcome to the channel, where we cut through the noise on global flashpoints. To understand why Tigray's latest crisis matters, we must rewind, but not too far, in November 2020. War erupted between Ethiopia's federal government under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Eritrean troops joined the fray. The conflict killed hundreds of thousands, displaced millions, and left deep ethnic wounds. The 2022 Pretoria Peace Agreement brought a fragile calm, but peace on paper is not peace on the ground. Fast forward to 2026. Ethiopia held elections earlier this year amid simmering insurgencies in Oromia and Amhara. In Tigray, political transitions have been turbulent, and now, Human Rights Watch's July 6 report paints a disturbing picture. According to the report, since at least April 2026, Tigray authorities have conducted a campaign of abductions and unlawful recruitment. Boys as young as 15 pulled from homes, workplaces, and even religious sites. A proclamation issued after TPLF-aligned leaders gained influence in May mandates military service, with penalties including 25-year sentences or death for evasion. Witnesses describe roundups in Adwa, Shire, Mekelle, and rural districts, families fleeing to Addis Ababa, young men hiding in the hills. This isn't voluntary mobilization. This is coercion in a region still recovering from devastation. Why now? Analysts point to several factors. Lingering distrust of the federal government, unresolved disarmament issues from the Pretoria deal, and fears of Eritrean influence. Eritrea and Ethiopia fought a brutal border war from 1998 to 2000. Relations have remained icy, with recent troop movements and accusations flying over territory and Red Sea access. Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous nation, is landlocked. Prime Minister Abiy has openly sought sea access, eyeing ports in Eritrea or deals elsewhere. Asmara sees this as existential threat. Tensions have escalated with reports of military buildups along their shared border. Let's examine the evidence more closely. Human Rights Watch interviewed residents, former fighters, and monitors. The pattern is consistent. Armed men in unmarked vehicles conducting night raids, families threatened, detainees sent to training camps. One former Tigray Defense Forces member told reporters he was being pressured to rejoin despite injuries from the previous war. Gold mining areas, vital economic lifelines, have become hunting grounds for recruiters. Tigray officials have acknowledged some unauthorized cases and promised investigations, but critics say the campaign intensified after May's political shifts, suggesting top-level direction. This raises serious questions about command responsibility and potential war crimes under international law. Now zoom out. Tigray does not exist in isolation. To the west, Sudan's civil war rages into its 4th year. The Rapid Support Forces are tightening their grip around El Obeid in North Kordofan. Drone strikes hammer civilian areas. 500,000 people trapped. UN officials warn of an impending humanitarian catastrophe that could dwarf previous horrors in El Fasher. RSF advances threaten to cut vital supply routes and trigger new waves of refugees into Ethiopia and beyond. Southward, Somalia battles al-Shabaab amid a precarious security transition. The United States has signaled reluctance to continue funding UNSOS logistical support for the African Union mission past December 2026. Recent United States strikes target militants. But the insurgency grinds on. Political fractures in Mogadishu weaken the response. These conflicts are linked by arms flows, displaced populations, and proxy interests. Gulf states, Turkey, Egypt, and the UAE all have stakes in ports, bases, and influence. Ethiopia's quest for Red Sea access has drawn in Egypt, concerned about Nile waters and GERD, and aligned Eritrea against Addis Ababa in some forums. Eritrea's role is particularly sensitive. During the Tigray War, Eritrean forces were accused of serious abuses. Post-war, Asmara has watched Tigray's political resurgence warily. Reports of Eritrean troops or proxies near borders add fuel. Foreign Policy and Crisis Group have flagged Ethiopia-Eritrea tensions as one of Africa's top conflicts to watch in 2026. A miscalculation here could ignite a wider war involving multiple states and drawing in external powers. Economically, the stakes are enormous. Ethiopia's population exceeds 120 million. Renewed fighting would devastate growth, food security, and regional trade. Humanitarian needs are already staggering across the Horn, millions facing acute hunger amid recurrent droughts. Here's the turning point that should alarm every policymaker. The window for prevention is narrowing. Tigray's recruitment drive isn't just internal housekeeping. In a region where demobilization remains incomplete and trust is paper-thin, it signals preparation. Federal Ethiopian forces and Tigrayan groups have clashed sporadically. Eritrea watches closely. Sudan's chaos provides cover and complicates refugee dynamics. International response has been muted. The African Union, IGAD, and United Nations issue statements, but decisive action lags. Aid fatigue is real. Great powers are distracted by other crises, yet history warns us. Small sparks in the Horn have lit massive fires before. The 1998 to 2000 Ethiopia-Eritrea war killed tens of thousands. The Tigray conflict was even deadlier. Another round could destabilize the Red Sea corridor, critical for global shipping, and trigger proxy escalations involving Egypt, the Gulf, and beyond. The Horn of Africa stands at a crossroads. Tigray's pain is not isolated. It is symptomatic of deeper unresolved grievances across the region. Borders, resources, power sharing, and historical trauma. Human Rights Watch's report is more than documentation. It is a warning. If the international community fails to engage urgently, through diplomacy, targeted support, and accountability, we risk watching history repeat itself on a devastating scale. To the people of Tigray, Sudan, Somalia, and the wider Horn, your suffering is not invisible. To leaders in Addis, Asmara, Khartoum, and Mogadishu, the cost of war far outweighs any short-term gain. To global audiences, this is not somewhere far away. Instability here ripples through migration, security, and global supply chains. We must demand better, sustained attention, principled engagement, support for local peacebuilders. This investigation continues. Drop your thoughts below. What should the international response be? Subscribe for updates as this story develops. Share if you believe these voices deserve to be heard. I'm your host. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay vigilant.